I was talking to Leslie, and she said that when a film begins, it's almost a blank canvas, and you work so well with your actors and stuff. And so, when the film, the version that what I took from it is that she became the focal point for me, the focal point of this film. And so I'm wondering, when you're shooting it, does the kind of, focus kind of change throughout, or do you feel like that, at the end of the day, this, like it was always there on the final cut, that you knew that Mary was going to be this?
Well, it's a difficult question to answer, because what matters is what's there at the end, what you see on the screen. And as with all creative processes, not least filmmaking, you make different decisions at different stages of the process. And there was a stage in the proceedings when I decided, of course, that it would be very interesting to see this potentially central character, Mary, through the perspective of these other central characters, Tom and Jerry. So it's open to some debate as to who is the central character. But in a way, that's a device that I deployed in my last film, where you see this driving instructor, Scott, who you never, like Mary, you never see him in private environment. You never see him alone, really. You always see him through Poppy. You always see Mary through in the context of Tom and Jerry. And so he becomes a kind of central character, even though he is, for all intents and purposes, a secondary or minor character. And I find that interesting, because in a way that's something we experience in life, that it's a question of who's at the centre of whose life, and who's central and who isn't central. So that's the answer to the question.
To have an actress where, the character seems to me very desperate and just needs to be loved, and she tries to find it in any way, shape, or form. And so, were you trying to say something about what it's like to be a single person at a certain age, or do you feel like there are bigger themes at hand here that maybe I've missed?
There may well be bigger themes. There are bigger themes. There are a lot of themes on the go in this film, and it's very difficult to pin down one or other or a few. But it is about women of a certain age. There is a certain desperation for an unfulfilled woman, or a lonely woman of this kind, who is a victim of much pain and abuse from people, not least men, and of whom you could argue either that she is just had a lot of bad luck, or you could also say, well, yeah, but she may have brought it on herself in some way. And that's the debate for you, the audience, to have. That's not for me to say.
To be able to bring your film to Cannes again, do you enjoy this process? And also, what do you feel the kind of response that people have in general to like when they know Mike Leigh's coming to Cannes? Or what kind of expectations have you experienced when talking to press and all that kind of?
Well, Cannes is great. It's a great way to launch your film into the world. Cannes is about world cinema. It's about celebrating movies. It's healthily resistant to Hollywood on the whole, and it's a great, it's a great way to find out how people are going to react to your film, which is exactly what's happening to us here. We're getting a flavour of its potential, which you couldn't get. How could you get it better anywhere else, really? It's fantastic.
Last question then. I know that I read an article that you said it's getting harder and harder to fund films. And so why is that? You are a director that has a very good track record of, and yet still people don't want to invest in...
I know, it's very tough. It's because times are tough. The problem with my films is, notwithstanding my so-called track record, as you put it, people like to know what they're going to get. And the problem with my films is they don't know what they're going to get. All they're going to get is a film. They don't know what it's going to be about, or who's going to be in it, or anything, basically. And so even the most sophisticated, or so they regard themselves, of financiers, backers, investors, they simply find it hard to take the risk.